Oh, we're live.
What's up, boys?
I can say this. I will say this with complete honesty, and there's feedback. I think it's gone now. We're good. No, there it is again. Do you hear the static?
Yeah.
So weird. Anyway, I will say this with full confidence, Duke, that this is a much better episode, much better podcast than when I do with your brother. Much better looking show.
Even with the static, imagine that.
It's much better looking. I will say we are much better looking. You and I are a better looking combo than you and your brother, and then me and your brother's ugly.
If you like big boys, this is the way, man.
Exactly. Don't mind while I spit my tobacco. What's going on, man? How's it been? It's been a while.
Let's talk about that for a second. You're just doing tobacco. What's going on?
Yeah, I got a line.
I do mind if I comb my beard while we talk.
No, not at all, man. It's just tobacco and beard. We're men, is what we are. You ever do
That's
that?
100% what it is.
You ever do that?
I'm about to, man. You're a great spokesman, and you've absolutely convinced me to get into it.
Once or twice a
Fuck
week.
you, doctors.
Once or twice a week when I play golf, it's automatic. It's
Live
honestly,
longer.
Sometimes like I'll have like an awful front nine, and then the back nine, I'll pop this bad boy in and I'll have a good back nine. Anyway, my name is Terry Time. That's Duke. We have Eagle at Master Control as usual. This is episode 3.2 of Not Sauce for Work. Peas is not feeling well. He got the vid. He's got the vid, so he's sick. He's out. He's out of commission.
Not the vaccine for the vid. He didn't get the vid himself.
Well, technically,
Yeah.
you get the vid
That's
by
what you
getting the
think.
vaccine.
Sounds like a liar to me. That's what it is.
Don't you get
He got
the
it
vid?
and
You
he's-
get the vaccine?
Exactly, man. You kind of
Exactly,
do.
no?
It's supposed
No,
to
that's not how that works.
I no joke. He has the same symptoms that I had. I got my vax at the beginning of the week, and I was trash for a day. But you
Got
know,
your-
I mean, some of
got
us are
your booster?
stronger. Some of us are stronger, and we just last longer. You know what I mean? So here
got
I
your
am,
booster?
and he's in bed.
You got your booster?
Sure, that's what they're calling it.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it.
I got my don't fucking tax me vax.
So we had our first episode of on Monday. We had the we don't even know what we're gonna call it yet, but it's just like the Monday morning quarterback style where we just recap the entire weekend. And the first 6 minutes of the show, me and Peas were speaking in double.
It's because I fucked
Okay, and you were probably all talking about Antonio Brown, I imagine.
Not at that time. No, not at that time. That was just me and
Okay,
Peas'
okay.
usual stupid rants that nobody really cares about. But it was a good show. Honestly, it was exciting. It was exciting to have because I like the idea of two shows with us, with the main four, and then and Alex the intern and John can contribute, and Matt they can contribute on the other side. But we're gonna get into it's kind of like a long rapid fire this episode. It's gonna be just Eagle firing off points, and we're gonna talk about them.
Quick jizz points.
Yeah, we're gonna get Duke's picks. He's gonna pick the spread in each of the football games at the end of this. So we'll see if he understands what the numbers are, and then we'll take it from there.
I'm trying. I've honestly been trying. I still don't get it, but I've been trying. I've been doing a bit of research.
With the tobacco in my mouth and the amount that I'm talking, I start accumulating saliva like Colin Cowherd. You ever notice how Colin Cowherd, like the bottom of his mouth, is like full of saliva? It's disgusting.
Dude, can we talk about that dude's TikToks for a second? Like,
I don't have to.
Oh man, okay. So he started his own network called The Volume, right? And so they started posting videos. Him and a couple of other dudes on his network. They post TikTok videos, and in these TikTok videos, his camera is like right up against his face. So like the way it's framed is horrifying. Like at like 6 o'clock in the morning, you're taking your shit, you're on the bowl, and you open it up, and your first talk is Colin Cowherd, just like right in your face. And it's just like there's barely even a frame around him. Like it's cheek to cheek all the way to the edges. And he's just like always has this, you know, like this take that's, you know, he's talking in this voice, and it's always shitty against like Aaron Rodgers
and he's contradicting himself every second episode. Like, you guys are idiot. I used to love Cowherd, man. I used to be such a Cowherd fan, and now I can't stand him.
Dude, same. I used to listen to him and Russillo together. Oh, it was the golden age.
Yeah, it was good. Russillo. I loved. Jason Smith, Kenny Coleman.
Yes.
Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann at the time.
Absolutely.
Those are the guys that I listened to.
That was a golden
like,
age.
Yeah, like Dan Patrick
was
like
back in the day.
idol.
That was back in the day when you wanted to listen to ESPN radio in Canada, you'd have to go on the website and click on the radio button and stream it on the website. You know,
I used to-
because podcasting, that's how fucking old we are. You know, podcasting didn't really exist the way it did today, you know, so.
So I was actually telling my girlfriend this before we get into the topics, because I was telling my girlfriend this last week, is that I worked at a radio station back then. This is like 2010, 2011. So before podcasting.
Kanawaki?
No, it was in Park Avenue. It was like a multicultural radio station. There was like Greek, Italian, all that stuff. But then they had a lot of like English shows too. So at night they gave me my own sports show. It was 11 to 1 every Sunday, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. every Sunday.
Right.
So after the Sunday games, I would go straight to the studio and I'd do a show with my buddy Pete, who we had on the show with Otis Grant, and we called it Throwdown Radio. If I had continued that, maybe I would have been the Ariel Helwani before Ariel Helwani.
That's so true, man. I can see you. I mean, listen, you guys look basically the same, you know.
Yeah, we're
you
identical.
sound basically the same.
Yeah.
Dana White would have probably hated you too. So
definitely.
maybe it would have worked out.
Definitely. All right, let's get into it. Eags.
All right, let's start with our first topic for today. From the NHL, Evander Kane is currently under investigation with the NHL for violating COVID protocols. This is after his contract has been terminated or is about to be terminated by the San Jose Sharks for, again, just being a complete and utter douchebag.
Yeah. So the thing about Kane now is that he's rumored to go to Oilers, and it's like almost like written. It's almost set in stone he's going to go to Oilers. McDavid kind of pussyfooted around like, listen, if he's we know what we need to do, and McDavid's completely frustrated. Like him and Draisaitl are the top two leading scorers in the league, and they're not going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me how every year they
Which is
both have 100
absolutely
points.
insane.
And
I
they have
couldn't imagine having two players that quality not getting into the playoffs. I mean, I can't even think of another example in the NHL where you had two exceptional players. It's like Crosby and Malkin not making it to the playoffs at the beginning of their career. Like, dude, the careers in the NHL are not that long, especially when you take that kind of a beating. I don't know what I would do. I'd lose it.
No. The thing is also there's like, do they really think that bringing in somebody like Evander Kane into the locker room is going to be a good idea? Kenny Holland, who was notoriously, he built those Detroit Red Wings dynasties. He's trying to do the same thing in Edmonton now, but it's not. I don't think it's a good plan to bring in a guy with so much media attention, negativity, a lot of negativity, regardless of, let's say, I don't think it's true, but let's say he is innocent. I think he's completely guilty. I think he's fucked around. He doesn't give a shit about what people think. He just does whatever he wants. He's a selfish prick. This is what I think about Evander Kane. Until I'm proven otherwise, is what I'm going to say. And I don't see how McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, Barry, Koskinen, who's had these issues in the media this week also, are going to be able to handle the media circus that's going to be Evander Kane. For what reason, too? Like, as good as a player as he is he worth it? Is he a game changer? Is he that much of a game changer? I don't think so.
He's not. It's not going to make a single difference whatsoever. It's a weird situation. I don't think, but it's almost like they're grasping at straws because there's not much you can do right now to make this team any better. It's just going to be an unfortunate. Yeah.
Well, listen.
But who's right now?
You listen. The thing about goaltending is like you just got to fall on a hot goalie. He's had some streaks. He was in the media saying that he can't score the goals either. In 7 games, he only allowed 8 goals. The team only scored 8 goals. So like, what's he supposed to do? Yeah, he's right. But at the end of the day, how many times has McDavid scored 3 goals and they lost 5-4? You know what I mean? Like, so let's bring those into consideration. Yeah. So that's the thing about Oilers in Edmonton. It's brutal right now, and I didn't expect it to be like this, only because McDavid is such a game changer. Like, how many highlight reel goals did he have this year? And now it's only going to be overshadowed by Evander Kane, the dummy.
That's the plan, though. Maybe they're going to strap pads to him and just pelt him with pucks as punishment.
Oh, that's a good idea, though. That's actually, I'm on board for that. Sign up.
Is there a worse place to lose in Edmonton? Jeez, imagine being in a shitty team in that city.
It's not necessarily exactly. It's the city. But imagine getting traded to Edmonton or to Winnipeg, and they suck that year. Imagine that.
Oh yeah,
that would be the worst. It's getting traded to a shit team in a shit city. If I got traded to Phoenix, worse, awful town. If I got traded to Montreal, if I got traded to Montreal or Phoenix, both awful teams, they're at least good cities.
That's it.
Edmonton, I'm not one of them all.
It's like, yeah, that's all you can do. I can't think
Skiing
of
in
like
the
yeah.
mall.
If you get traded to Chicago, it's fun, but you might get shot. I mean, I don't know.
This reminds
So,
me of when Mike Camilleri got traded mid-game. I want to say, was it 8, 9 years ago, almost to this date. Like, imagine, like, okay, you're playing for Montreal, you're
2013.
skating around and everything, and then you get you're pulled into the locker room after the first period, saying, get on a plane. You're going to fucking Calgary in the middle of the winter, and you're like, God damn it.
oh,
God
he
damn.
he fucking deserved it. Did I ever tell you guys the story about how he ghosted me? I saw him at a restaurant. This was like a breakfast place early in the morning. I can't remember the fucking situation. I was in the old
Okay.
port, and I saw Camilleri in the distance. And this was like, I think it was the game before he got traded, and he was in this heated fucking conversation with probably his agent at a coffee table. And I kind of waved at him. I'm like, "Hey, Mike," and then he looked at me. He just fucking gave me the eyes. He's like,
The eyes.
he just looked away, ghosted me. I'm like, fuck this guy. And then he got traded. The next day, I'm like, you know what? Good. Bye. He
The thing
always
is, my-
hated Camilleri hated being here.
Did you know the Camilleri story when he got traded? He got traded mid-game, and then he took his jersey home with him, and they sent him an invoice for the jersey for like $300. The Habs sent him an invoice for the jersey. How fucked up is that? They just paid this
No,
guy
that's
millions of
hilarious.
dollars. So we really need
Yeah.
that $300. You know, dirty.
It's not even that they needed it. It's just like, we don't like you. So it's almost like the GM is just like, yeah, fucking send him an invoice for that jersey.
He told me to go fuck myself. So here, send him an invoice. Fuck this guy.
Which he probably did because he was such a douche.
You really?
Such a douche.
He was good though. He had
Yeah.
some really that shot from the slot man from his knee. He was almost automatic every single time.
Automatic.
He was great.
Automatic.
I liked Camilleri. I mean, I don't know if he was an asshole or not, but yeah, I liked him playing.
All
Totally.
right, next, going to the NBA, Cam Reddish has been traded to the Knicks. So the Hawks are trading him for a deal that includes a protected 2022 first-round pick via the Charlotte
Whatever.
Hornets.
Who cares?
According to Woj, of course. The
Woj,
Knicks
Woj,
also
Woj.
acquire Solomon Hill and a 2025 second-round pick because we know that's going to be worth something via the Brooklyn Nets in the trade.
So it's like these second round picks. in
2025
NBA
second
trades-
round pick.
That's the thing. These second round picks in the NBA trades are ridiculous. It's like in my hockey league, it's a keeper league. Everybody always throws in, I'll throw in a fourth or a fifth. You know, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
No, but especially in the NBA,
yeah.
the second round pick, like you're guaranteed. That's a guaranteed player that's going to be in the G League for 3-4 years.
It's
barely
only to
developing.
fill up your G League roster.
I can't even remember the last second round pick that ever did anything.
But are you happy
listen,
with this as a Knicks fan? Are you happy?
Yeah, honestly, I am. I watched the Knicks play the Mavs last night, and like the bricks. Can we talk about the bricks?
How good is RJ
Like,
though?
So RJ's not bad. He ended the
Scored 30
game.
last
If they would 32. They wouldn't have won without him. I think that he is going to be a great player. Maybe not like the best. Probably not probably not an all-star every single season. But there's something about RJ that I like. Like he facilitates the ball really well. It really works well. I'm not ready to say that if that's someone that can't make the team better. I really like what I'm seeing from RJ. It's more that Julius Randle's guy that's really been kind of a disappointment this season. Like they went from a team that was a great shooting team last season to this season where it's like they are like middle of the pack, maybe subpar. And it's been disappointing to see some of their best shooters like not even make shots. And like they traded for Evan Fournier. No, they didn't trade. Sorry. They signed Evan Fournier. They paid him $17 million, which is crazy because listen, Evan Fournier, when he's hot, he's hot. But when he's not, he's just dead. He's dead weight on the floor. And you can't play Evan Fournier in situations where you need to play a lot of defense because he's terrible defensively. Like I can't even get over it. So 17 mil for him. And like Alec Burks, who's been kind of like a pretty decent player this season that you rely on, still making 9 mil. Like there's just it's also a salary thing too. They traded away Kevin Knox, who's set to make about close to $6 million too. And Cam Reddish has shown some moments of brightness this season. He's had a couple of games.
He only averages like 12 points a game, but it's not what he brings to the table. He brings a lot of different aspects to the table. I love the trade for the Knicks.
He does.
Yeah, and I'm not like a huge Knicks guy, but like if I always love the orange and blue color scheme. It's just it's just nice. But like if I wasn't a Pacers fan, I'd definitely be a Knicks fan. Like it's weird to say that as a Pacers fan.
But the problem is that like you need a reliable wing, and I'm not saying that Cam Reddish is there yet. He's still super young, but he's shown a lot. He's shown some potential, And I think that's what you want to see. Like Emmanuel Quigley, like is the guy that last season we're like, oh man, look at this rookie, he's going to be great. But
That's a good point.
man, this season he hasn't really been showing. He hasn't really been showing up. So like your wings aren't producing. They're not. And so they're bringing in Cameras. You're trying to change things up, but they're also looking for that chemistry that Reddish and RJ Barrett had, in college. Yeah, exactly. And listen, my dream would be for the Knicks to trade for Zion Williamson.
No,
they have
Zion's done.
assets.
Zion's
But,
done.
hey, not only do they have no assets, they don't have that second round pick in 2025. So they can't even trade for him anyway.
Zion might go down. This is a hot take here. Zion might go down as one of the biggest busts in NBA history.
Yeah, it's
I'm looking at a smarter version of Jamarcus Russell here. Like that's what I'm looking at.
But do you think that he's just like, listen, I get it. The joke is he's in New Orleans. You know, there's all that crawfish. There's all the best food in the world. I get
What's wrong
it.
with crawfish? It's good.
I think that first of all, I don't think he ever wanted to be in New Orleans. And on top of it, like he wanted to be in New York.
Where's he from?
He want. I'm not sure.
I'll
look it up.
I'll look it up right now.
It's all. Yeah. While you look it up, my point of view is like, do you think that maybe
he's from North Carolina
to,
originally?
Okay, so that's what I want to do.
But he's trying to like eat his way out of a situation. It'll be the first time I've ever heard of this. But he's like, listen, if I balloon up to like almost like 340 pounds, like maybe they trade me because my trade value is so low, and then like a team with no assets like might have some kind of leverage to trade.
Okay, so it's the James Harden strategy.
Yeah, true. Make the pitch.
Yeah.
Make the pitch to New Orleans. Make the pitch to New Orleans. If you're the Knicks GM right now, what do you do?
Oh, dude, there's honestly, they're so strapped. They're strapped. They've given too much money. Like, don't forget, Derrick Rose, 13 mil. Evan Fournier, 17 mil. Like, Nerlens Noel, like, they signed, like, Nerlens Noel played amazing last season. I was so happy for him. But when they signed him for $8 million this year, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's a position where you can get people, you can find dudes for like even under $1 million, like and just that they don't have the cap space, they don't have the draft assets. It would not work for them to bring in Zion because also like what's the main player that you would add to a deal? RJ Barrett? No, that's not something that anyone wants to trade for because he hasn't proven himself yet. And also then there's Julius Randle. Like Julius Randle went like last year, man. He improved so much to the point that he was probably the most improved player in the NBA last season.
He was. He played
this
great.
Season, this season, he just hasn't been himself. You know.
What if you throw in that 2025 second round pick they got from the Nets as part of the deal?
Maybe spruce it up a bit. You know.
Yeah. Honestly, but Zion's untradeable just for the fact that listen, he was the top draft pick. He still has so much potential. And I still think that if you're the GM of the Pelicans, you're like, look, we can't get rid of him. Like there's so much potential if he turns out to be something that we think he is, because he's not a bust. He's still young. Like he could potentially get back into shape. Don't forget when he was at his best in his prime, I guess in his best weight, like he was dominating. And I just think that like we're also the media is taking this whole fat shaming thing to another level. We're just saying like, oh yeah, look at this picture, look at that commercial of him eating chips on the couch. Like that was a bad look in general.
Not eating chips. Though you're allowed to eat fucking chips as an athlete, man.
For sure. And but the problem with Zion is like it's not so much about that, but like he has issues with injuries in general. But when you add those. Because what the rumor is that he's at plus 300 pounds, so like 320 pounds, and so you put that kind of stress on your knees. It's like at some point you got to ask yourself like, is this going to be sustainable? So they're going to give it a chance, but at some point there's going to be a point of no return where it's like I'm not going to get the max value out of this player, you know, and like teams be clamoring to trade assets. But there's a point of no return where he's like, either we give up and we say, okay, we'll take what we get. But you also don't want to be the GM that spent the first round pick on this player and didn't work out.
That's true. I mean, in Zion, he's worth the risk because he's such a raw talent. But the thing about Zion, and this is what everybody's saying, is that he just doesn't have the work ethic that he needs to stay healthy and to stay in shape. He's kind of like taking advantage of the fact that he's just gone where he is strictly on raw talent. You know what I mean? We saw him get injured in the March Madness tournament before he got drafted. We saw him get injured and he missed a few games.
Well,
like, he's a big dude.
That wasn't his fault. Like his shoe blew up.
It's not his
fault. That was all strictly on Nike.
No, it's not his fault. But the thing is, as a big guy, if you're putting in the wrong things in your body, I know these things. You always feel like shit. Like when I cut off soda, like I've cut off sodas for a couple weeks now, and I've been drinking water, and it's like I feel much better. You know what I mean? When you're hydrated. And if people aren't doing those things, especially professional athletes, it's the margin for error is this, man. If you fuck it up, you're done. And he's at that level where he might be a bust. I'm looking at more like a Kendrick Perkins career, I think. That's what
but just to kind of end the point, going back to because we got past the point of what this was all about. Cam Reddish is going to fit the Knicks pretty well. Is he going to be a game breaker? I don't know. But listen,
he definitely won't. He's not that type of guy.
No, but I think also like the difference between the Knicks and like the top team in that conference, it's there's not much of a difference. Like they're on the right path, but they got to bring in guys that are actually hitting shots. Because last night, like what I saw, it's not just last night. It's previous games I've seen where it's like, you know, there's too many games where it's just like brick. Like you got to bring in some talent that kind of revitalizes the lineup. Because you look at like other teams that can hit 3-point shots and can be consistent in their shooting, and you know, we're looking for better field goal percentage.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, changing gears. We're going to talk MMA, but not for the usual fashion. Conor McGregor has been exploring other revenue streams since he's kind of taken a step back from his time in the ring. But this time around, his latest venture, a bar, has been firebombed with Molotov cocktails. Quite the adventure for Mr. McGregor.
It was like a
Molotov. That sounds fun.
The thing is that McGregor, he just doesn't know how to get out of his own way. And there was all these rumors like at the beginning of this that he fucked around with the wrong people, and maybe he's fucked around with the wrong people. And this is scary. Like, it's scary the way Conor McGregor is going about his life right now, because in such a short period of time, we've seen him go from the best to the worst. And by the worst, I mean the worst of the best, because he's still one of the better fighters out there for sure. But it's crazy to see that I've said this before. We're looking at Mike Tyson in real time without the bankruptcy. Conor McGregor, he was smart enough to like do all these businesses, and he's kind of like kept his money aside that he can't spend it. But it looks like we're going to see a meltdown like Mike Tyson. Not necessarily bankruptcy, but a meltdown. It's not good for Conor McGregor now, and he needs a W. If he doesn't get a W soon, he's trending on the level of irrelevance, and that's scary for Conor McGregor because of who he was and what he's done for the sport.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a Montreal thing, but when you get firebombed, it kind of means that you got some bad connections with the mafia. No?
Yeah,
what do you think, Geeks?
We've seen too many of those.
I had a colleague at one point. They're like, "Hey, we heard there was a firebombing near a cafe where you live," and I'm like, "Yeah, and?"
Yeah, makes sense. What are you talking about?
What are you talking? Okay,
it's St. Leo.
It's Tuesday. What do you expect? You know?
Wait, which one?
Yeah.
Which one? Especially in Montreal too.
But you're
more known for it. You know?
You're right in a sense. It's like he kind of needs that W, because we're at a point now where like he is trending on being completely irrelevant. Obviously, the best step for him is just to fight Jake Paul and just get it over with. Get the fucking fight in.
Maybe he goes the Ronda Rousey route and does some type of like WWE event, or maybe some acting.
It's beneath him.
That's
Acting,
so low,
yes.
though.
Wrestling, he might make appearances, but I don't think he'll be able to
Dude,
commit.
Expendable 6. There's got to be a fucking place for Conor. No.
I mean, the thing about Conor is that you don't know what you're getting with Rousey, GSP. You know what you're getting. Conor, he might just blow up on the set and just start killing everybody.
And
like,
GSP
we don't know what's
did
gonna
Marvel
happen.
movies, so I mean, like,
Yeah.
you really got to strive for the best.
Who did he
So
play? He
true.
played the Winter
So
Soldier?
He was in Winter
Yes.
Soldier. He didn't play the Winter
he was
Soldier.
in
He was a
Winter Soldier.
villain in Winter Soldier. Yeah.
What was the name of his guy? I'm not a big Marvel
I don't
guy,
know,
so
Claude
No one
something
knows.
or whatever.
We're not going to get.
It was a French name. I remember it was a French name. Yeah. He played like a guy
I
from
remember
France.
seeing that. I'm like, I remember seeing that. I'm thinking like, if this was real life, like he would kill Captain. Well, I don't know, fucking Captain America, whatever superhero it was there.
Probably, yeah.
Um,
Like it
no,
always
but
reminds me of that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with when Bruce Lee's talking about how he can kick Muhammad Ali's ass, and then Brad Pitt just ragdolls him and throws him against the car. It reminds me of that. It's like you don't realize that just because he's like you're like a tough guy that you can, or you know something that you're gonna be able to fight against a brute, freaking old school guy like Brad Pitt, or like just like a random guy. Like I bet you there's guys in a bar that can kick the shit out of McGregor and he doesn't even realize it. You know.
He played a character named Georges Batruc. He was a mercenary and a master of the French form of kickboxing known as savate or savate.
Savate.
Oh,
Savate sounds more exotic.
So do we have any details aside from the fact that someone threw Molotov cocktail at him? Like, did they throw it at business? Did they throw it at his cock?
They threw it at his bar. He owns a bar called the Forged Inn, and it's in Dublin. And there was a couple guys on scooters that drove by, threw them in, and just dipped. But Conor wasn't there at the time, so I don't know what kind of a message it was.
I mean,
we'll see. But
it sounds like he took some loans that he didn't pay back.
Oh, there's no loans. Like they're loaning from him. Like Conor McGregor is not bankrupt. Like he made the most money in 2021 as an athlete. More than Messi, more than any Formula One driver, more than Khabib, whatever, more than anybody. LeBron, put him on. Conor McGregor made the most money in 2021 as an athlete, and that's the first time an MMA guy has ever done it.
There's a difference. There's a difference between making money and not paying people. Some people are just they do not pay their debts, like Trump. That might be what it is. It could be like look like there's plenty of examples in history and in sports of players and athletes and celebrities where like they make a lot of money and they don't like look at AB. AB made a lot of money. Antonio Brown made a lot of money. He forged a vaccine card, decided randomly not to pay for it, and guess what? He got snitched. So
because
I'm not saying he's broke, but we need to separate ourselves. Like, maybe this is just our Montreal experience, but when your business gets firebombed, it's because you're not paying back what you either are owed or what you promised.
Or you just fucked with the wrong guy.
Yeah, that too.
It could be a warning. It could be a warning, like you're in the wrong place. Like we know who you are. Like just get the fuck out of here. It could be It could be, when you get like in Montreal, if you have a cafe in the East End, you have to pay a price, right? You're gonna have to pay a premium to keep that cafe open and not firebombed. Maybe he just, like you said, maybe he didn't pay the premium. He didn't pay the tax.
Who's that kid? Who's that MMA kid? Nusav or Nusrev? That little boy.
Hasbulla.
Hasbulla. That's Hasbulla's doing, man. That's Hasbulla's doing.
Yeah, you think Hasbulla's driving around Dublin? You think Hasbulla's driving around Dublin bombing?
He sent his henchmen. That's what it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
You think Hasbulla is Khabib's henchman?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's like 007 from Dagestan. Like, oh.
Yeah. Next up.
You never know.
All right, a sport we very much don't talk about. We're going to be going into the Grand Slam of tennis, and the #1 ranked Novak Djokovic was first given an exemption and then denied access and then given it back, and now I don't know exactly what anymore, to the Australian Open because he has not gotten the COVID vaccine, applied for an exemption, first got it granted by Australia, who, by the way, are extremely strict in terms of what they let in and the policies and everything. So people lost their shit that they did this for him. They took away his visa, and then he basically said, well, fuck you guys, I'm the #1 seed. And they said, oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, Mr. Djokovic. And they gave it back to him. He has apparently violated curfew and protocol and quarantine lockdowns. Doesn't give a fuck about that either. So it's turning into quite the adventure down under.
You can't think. I don't mind that Djokovic is doing what he wants because you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. That's on you. Well, my problem is that if I know the rules to something and I purposely don't follow them, I'm an asshole, right? If I'm purposely doing something, knowing I'm doing it wrong, and then crying about it, not getting my way, and then going online, my father acting as if I'm some sort of martyr because I didn't want to get vaccinated and I broke the rules that the country that I decided to fly to told me I'm not allowed to do. So I don't understand. He's looking for pity. There's no pity here.
Well, he's looking to use his influence to try and basically say this is bullshit, right? But not willing to fall on the sword and saying, well, I can't get this stuff.
there's ways to go about it. Like he's not doing it the right way. He's like, if you follow the rules and you do everything the right way, then people will look at you. But if you start going renegade and you start breaking the rules, and people are just going to ignore you. Like, I'm a huge Djokovic guy, and I think and most people on the ATP, they're acting like they're saying that he just thinks he can do whatever he wants.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It would have been better, honestly, in terms of a statement to not go, right? And basically say,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for the points, and here's my statement saying I disagree with this policy, and I'm not participating in this tournament for that reason. That would have drawn more attention than what he's doing now.
Yeah, like the rumors about Aaron Rodgers not going to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's bullshit. But like, if the rumors of him not going to the Super Bowl to make a statement, that's a statement that you can make. That's a protest, not complaining about the rules and don't follow them. You know what I mean?
I will say, firstly, that I doubt that no one had any idea that he was going to lie about it. He has been very, very honest about not being for this for the vaccine at all. And you're right, and I will agree with you, Terry, that we all have a choice. We all make our own decisions, and we'll never force anyone to do what they don't want to do, unlike what our government tends to do. But at the same time, I do think that by falsifying information and just kind of like thinking like, hey, you know what, I'll participate. What's the worst that they can do? And at this point, like the Australian Open, like they're in a shitty situation because they have their number one ranked tennis player that he's just not going to play. So it's a weird situation. I honestly don't have an answer for it because I mean I put myself.
What kind of answer would you be able to have?
There's none, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
If you allow him to play, I can't imagine the shitfest that happens on the legal side of this whole thing, on the public perception approach to it, because a lot of Australians are kind of mad about this whole situation. But then if you don't let him play, then there's the other side of it as well. Like, how do you have a tournament without your number one player playing?
Well, Duke, I look at it from a different perspective, though, right? If you're the ATP, I mean, if the moment you break the rule for someone, but not for anyone else, I mean, your integrity is completely thrown out the window, right?
Sets a bad precedent.
You have to sets a bad precedent. No one takes you seriously anymore. You have to enforce the rules the way you've designed them, and then if you want to make changes for future tournaments, no problem. Or if you want to, mea culpa or make a change to the rules for everyone, sure. But to create a specific exemption for a guy because he's popular is not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the exact wrong way to do it, because then.
But why not have similar testing like they have in other sports, where you test him, if he's positive, he doesn't play, and like if he's
it's a logical way of looking at it.
I don't know. I feel like it's a blanket approach. It's like, you're not vaccinated, fuck off. You can't play in our tournament. But then again, it's also different from the NFL or the NBA. It's a singular event. Like, if you can't play, then it screws up the whole scheduling of the whole event. So there's just no easy answer to it,
I mean, the thing is, like Aaron Rodgers said, is like we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers, and he's making himself like kind of the example. But all he's saying is like, I don't mind the COVID protocols. He's like, but just don't test me if I'm not showing any symptoms, because I'm not contagious.
Yeah.
So if I'm not showing any symptoms, they're testing everybody all the time. You're gonna find cases when they shouldn't be there. Like, there's so many like all these rapid cases, these PCRs and all these things. There's so many times where it's like they're not even symptomatic. Like, I got COVID last week. My girlfriend didn't get anything. We didn't stop like pecking each other on the lips and whatever, like sharing things. Like, we didn't stop any of that. She didn't get it. She didn't get it.
Don't tell the logo of government, man. You can't kiss your girlfriend if you have COVID, man.
That's what it is, man. No, but just the same.
You can only kiss your sister or your cousin.
Oh yeah, it's true. I forgot about that.
And you want to say something, Terry?
Yeah, let's get to the picks. Ad read, yes. My bad. I forgot, guys.
I'm gonna wait for Eagle to put it up, because
I don't have the banner. You're gonna have to do it alone.
It's all good.
Hot Streak.
It's all good. Wrap it.
Imagine it's orange and stuff.
iOS, Hot Streak Fantasy on iOS. Use the promo code HOTSAUCE. They'll match your initial deposit as a bonus. If up to $1,000. So if you have $1,000 to spend, put it there. They'll give you $1,000 worth of bonuses. So go for it. Use the promo code HOTSAUCE. They'll match it. Hot Streak Fantasy available on iOS. It's one of the best in-play fantasy apps in the world. I got to play it every night for basketball. It's always there.
Make sure you try and go into streak mode to make the most money. That's like a parlay. If you don't know what a streak mode is, Dave, for you, that's like parsley but without the S.
Yeah, exactly. Parlay. parlay. Let's get it.
And our last
I don't know what
topic
any of
here,
that means.
speaking of
Yeah.
betting, is going to be
Yeah.
wild card weekend odds. So right now, most of the games are actually pretty tight when it comes to the odds. So it's Bengals minus
Yes.
5.5 against the Raiders. We have Cowboys down 2.5 against the Niners. Bills minus 3.5 against the Pats. Bucks minus 7.5 against the Eagles. Rams minus 3.5 against the Cardinals. But of course, the super outlier here is Chiefs minus 12.5 on the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger himself has basically come out saying, "Listen, like we're 20-point underdogs. Let's just go out and have some fun and see what happens," type of thing. So, guys, what's your picks for this upcoming weekend? Where do you think people should be spending their money?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, listen, everybody's saying Chiefs plus minus 12.5 for sure. I mean, I don't see that.
By one. Let's go game by game. Raiders,
cool, let's go.
Bengals first.
Okay, let's go. Since you're Raiders fans, I was gonna save it for the end. I was gonna save Cowboys and Raiders for the end. So, Raiders and Bengals. Bengals minus 5.5. You think the Raiders are gonna win this one or what?
No, Bengals, absolutely. The Raiders are playing with house money. Not to make it a Vegas pun, but Raiders are playing with house money. I'm really proud of what they put together this season. Finished the season 10-7. Rich Bisaccia deserves another year coaching this team. He really set the ship straight. But let's be honest, the Bengals are a great team. The Raiders won't be able to stop Mixon. This is going to be a blowout. Bengals are going to win 14 points and plus.
See, I'm on the other side. I think that the Bengals are just a very young team, and I think that the Raiders are going to be able to win this game. For real.
I love you, man.
I think the Raiders win this game. It's weird for me to say that, but I think the Raiders win this game. And as high as I am on Joe Burrow and Jamal Chase and all these guys, as high as I am on them, they're still a very young team. Joe Burrow had great games. He's also had a few weird ones. I think that this is his first. It's not his first playoff. He made the playoffs last year, I think, right? No, they didn't make the playoffs. He was injured.
No,
he was injured.
He was injured.
So it's his first
he broke his
playoff.
leg or something.
Yeah, it's his first playoff, so I don't know how well he's going to do. But I like the Raiders, and I like how Carr's been playing. So Carr's been playing with, like, nothing to lose. Big balls. All kinds of energy. Love it.
Yeah.
I like it. I've always been a supporter of Carr. I never hated on him. There's always those ups and downs. But I think this weekend he ends up getting it. So I'm going Raiders over Bengals. Let's go Niners at the Cowboys. Cowboys minus 2.5. Duke, you got
I'm going to go Cowboys are going to annihilate the Niners. They just have too much firepower. I don't trust Jimmy G no matter how hot he is. I saw a video of Jimmy G this week. I was stunned by how beautiful his skin is. That doesn't matter. I don't make my picks based on who I find hot. The Cowboys gonna win this one, 14 points plus. That's my pick.
2 touchdowns for the Cowboys.
21, so 3 touchdowns plus. They're gonna be annihilation.
I love it. So the thing is that Jimmy G can't throw the deep ball, right? So a lot of things are going to stay short. If Debo Manuel Debo Samuel is blanketed, then I don't think anything else. George Kittle, he's going to be covered. I mean, as good as he is, but at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys are going to win this one. I don't see the Niners coming out, even though as good as they're playing. And I'm a little bit of a homer. I'm going Cowboys minus 2.5 for sure. I think they cover the spread, at least by field goal. I think they'll win by field goal. Come on.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I really don't trust the Niners on this one, and the Cowboys just look incredible.
Pats at Buffalo minus 3.5 for Buffalo.
This is a really tough one, and that's why I understand. I'm pretending like I understand the spread, but I do. I'm gonna go with so minus 3. If I go with the Bills, that means I'm going for the spread. I'm going against the spread because I think it'll be.
If you say Bills, you mean you expect them to win by 4?
Okay, no, not by 4. So I would say Pats. Pats are going to lose, but it's going to be a field goal, so 3 points. So
okay.
Pats win. No, Pats lose. Bills win, but just for a field goal. Okay. I'm so confused by these spreads.
What's the weather?
Sorry, I just want to say this. I really, if someone out there is listening, I really need a masterclass on gambling because I just don't fucking get it. Just sit me down, talk to me like I'm a toddler. Just explain to me what this is. I don't get it.
You know what we should do, Duke? You know what we should do? We should
Okay, while he figures it out.
No, there you go.
Duke, it's not that hard. Whatever team is minus means they need to win the game and they need to score more points past just winning than that number. Okay, so in this case,
See, that's already
Bills,
too many words.
Bills
many
minus
words.
three. Bills minus 3.5. Let's say the game finishes 18-15 or something. Okay, Bills win. Even though the Bills won, the Patriots win the bet because they, if you put 3.5 points on it, would actually have won the game. So the Bills would need to win 19-15 in order to beat that. That's why there's always the half, because there's no way this could ever be tied or pushed.
Well,
This is why
I changed the odds.
failed 416 math 3 times.
I changed the odds.
This is why I failed 416 math 3 times.
I changed 416. I changed the odds on this one because the Cowboys are favored by -3, but I put 2.5 so Duke can understand a little bit better.
I needed a tutor to finish 416, and he was probably trying to bag me the whole time. It was so weird.
Oh, that's possible. You're very cute. Eagles at Bucks -7.5 for the Bucks.
7.5 is my first thought.
I'm gonna.
What?
Only 7.5 is my first thought, but I mean, Bucks have very few weapons going into this game. That's the only saving grace for Eagles.
And the Eagles don't allow a lot of
I'm,
points.
I tend to agree with you. I think my money's gonna be on the Eagles on this one. I don't know, because also Grayson's gonna be out. Oh, by the way, didn't know Grayson even existed until last game, so I don't know who they're gonna use. Is Fournette even playing? I don't know. So
I don't think they plan on running the ball.
It's gonna be a really close game. So no, I don't
think they plan on running the ball, but I think that Mike Evans goes off, and I'm going plus.
Yeah,
over 7.5 for sure. Steelers at Chiefs -12.5 for the Chiefs.
This is where we differ on this. I look at the line and I honestly don't. It just thinks that the Steelers are done. Obviously, based on what Big Ben was saying, he was talking about how let's just go out there and have fun. It's we're gonna lose. Like, I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. The Chiefs have really been heckle and jive. Let's go with that. I'm not even going to correct myself. It's just been one of those. It's been one of those teams that one game they look great, another game they don't. Their defense looked great recently. Don't get me wrong, but the Steelers are a different thing. And man, TJ Watt's been on a tear. I'm gonna go with we'll go with the Chiefs on. No, I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this, just because I don't. Oh wait, what am I trying to say? Tell me what my pick is.
Do you think the Steelers are going to be able to lose by less than 12 points?
Yeah, so that's it. So I'm going to go with the Steelers on this because I think that it's going to just be like a 7-point difference. It's going to be like a 1 touchdown difference. So I'm going to go Steelers.
Yeah, you know what?
Does that make sense? Am I getting it?
The Steelers are playing with house money. They got in based on that Raiders-Chargers game. They're playing with house money now. There's nothing to lose. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think the Chiefs will still win, but the Steelers are a good enough team to make this a game. Absolutely. I mean, Big Ben is his last hurrah. He's going to try and push it as much as he can, even though he doesn't really have the strength anymore. His accuracy's still there.
He's going to CBS after this, man. I'm telling you, right? That's the bet I want to make. Ben Roethlisberger to CBS next year.
You think Big Ben would be good on camera? Like, you'd be good behind the mic?
He won't be. But have you seen who's on camera these days? It just makes a lot of sense.
The only reason why the Chiefs don't cover this game, in my opinion, is because Najee Harris gets enough first downs to keep the clock moving, and Ben doesn't throw 2 or 3 interceptions, which I'm anticipating him to do. Otherwise, I don't think this game is anywhere close to being.
Eags with the real breakdown, making us look bad.
I love it.
Cardinals go to LA to face off the Rams at -3.5.
Fuck, I don't know what to do with this one. This one's puts me in a brain pretzel, man.
Rams all day on this one.
Yeah, to me, this is the easiest one of all of them, honestly. Like, Steelers Chiefs, because the spread's so big, it's more tricky. But Cardinals Rams, I don't think Cardinals stand a chance.
I won't lie. I rarely watch these games pass like these. Like, I rarely watch the Rams or the Cardinals. I could give a fuck about that division. So I don't know anything about them. I just know that the Rams have a bunch of
I have a
players.
different question for you then. Would you rather bang Sean McVay's wife or Clint Kingsbury's wife?
Oh, first of all, Cliff Kingsbury had a rocket of a wife before. Not girlfriend before, Haldy Saunders, but she's
had. No, she's gone.
She changed everything, yeah.
And who's Sean McVay's?
I don't know her name, but she's a Ukrainian girl, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Another blondie,
you guys,
supermodel type of style.
Well, first of all, you just ticked all the boxes, but let me just. I know I'm stalling this like
No, it's all good. I want to see your live reaction to this.
Yeah, so Cliff Kingsbury's fitness model Veronica Bielik.
Oh, I didn't even know he was with anybody. No.
Yeah, they got back together apparently.
Oh no, the girl we were talking about before was a.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Sean McVay's wife is Veronica Cohen. She's a 31-year-old model from Ukraine.
Sounds fancy.
Well,
there it is.
And a real estate agent.
That does it. I love the Ukraine as a country. We'll probably get invaded by Russia in the next few weeks, and just for that, I'm going to vote for the Rams.
Idiot moment of the month for me. I thought Ukrainians spoke Russian recently. Up to recently.
They
I thought
do
most of the time because it is a border territory. But
that's what I'm saying,
is
right?
its own language.
Depends on what region. Depends on what region.
Okay. I get it. So that was it, Duke. We're done. Episode 3.2 of Not Talk Sports.
I'm hungry.
Finished in the books. Much better than what I do with you, brother, usually, because it doesn't drag on.
That is true.
All right, take care, boys.
Later, boys. I appreciate it. As usual, Hot Streak Fantasy, go visit, use promo code Hot Sauce. They'll match your initial deposit as a bonus. Hot Streak Fantasy only available on iOS though. So if you have a Samsung, if you have an Android, go fuck yourself. Just iPhone. Use the promo code Hot Sauce. They'll match it. $1,000. They'll give you $1,000. Give it. I'm Terry Tam. That was Duke. That was Diego, the producer. Master Control as usual. That was Hot Sauce for work. Peace.